application, my options to point out any time where questions are there is open. There is no limitations to that, and let's move ahead. And today's topic I have been given, that is emerging technology, emerging trends in blockchain. Emerging technologies as well as emerging trends in blockchain scalability. So in last two calls, or you could say the last two sessions, I have explained deeply about how cryptocurrencies function, how NFTs are there, and what are the policies, which is vague as of now. But there are some countries who are prevailing it, and it will see its future out there. As well as in second sessions, I address the problems which is it is facing in scalability, like the real set of problems, like the speed, the delays, and the storage. Few questions were previously highly relevant, and taking it ahead. So we are moving at what are the blockchain trends taking place, scalability trends to be very precise, because trends usually switch in blockchain space pretty fast. So just going ahead with simple addition to yesterday's discussion with you all. I want to know how much of you guys are aware of Web 2 and Web 3. Like, are we aware that there is a terminology called Web 3 in the space, which is taking place and evolving very fast?
Uh, the participants have been told
No,
about
I,
this
I
in the
usually just.
previous, by the previous heard during the lectures, as Sushilji is telling rightly. So many of them may not be aware, but they have been exposed to these Web 3,
Yeah.
Web 2. Yeah, thank
So,
you.
this is a very high terminology movement going in the space, that is in the IT space, or you could say the technology space, where Web 2 and Web 3 terms are clashing up. And it's a very high trend that, oh, we are building a thing in the Web 3, we are building something in Web 3, or they're working in Web 3. It's one of the most wannabe space after AI as of now, the trends which says like these. So Web3 is going to be a very huge scalable potential, which would be there. And with that, there are multiple trends, which are coming up with the concept of blockchain 4.0. Web3 means Web 3.0, metaverse. After Apple launched its own uh, glasses, Vision Pro, or the VR glasses, virtual reality glasses, it took out to a trend where metaverse and all those things started building up again. Virtual realities, mixed realities, augmented realities started coming up. But not with just that, all the emerging technologies are weaving together, and that's what the space is promising on. So let me give you a idea, like how blockchain scalability is related to all these trends as well, and how it's going to look in a longer run, where AI and machine learning and AI generally goes together. Whenever the name is taken, they pair a space together. But overall, blockchain trilemma is the major bottleneck which will be causing the scalability part. So let me go ahead and share up how blockchain trilemma is going to affect and include all the emerging trends, as well as how it's going to be adding up how things are going to change. So those are the first thing to move ahead with. Let me share the screen. So as you can see on the screen, this is blockchain trilemma. It is called blockchain trilemma. My screen, I guess, is visible to all. If no, please uh, mention in the chat. So blockchain trilemma comprises three parts. First, decentralization. Second, scalability. Third, security. The whole part of scalability, or you could say, the scaling up blockchain is going to be in these segment only. Like what are the options, what are the scalability thoughts, how it would scale up in the space, are in this trilemma itself. Like, because each one shares a boundary, that you want a scalability but decentralization comes a problem. Then if you want decentralization and scalability both, then security becomes a problem. And all three needs to be covered before moving ahead, or adding up to any scalability option, which later you can be using up. So that's what it is said and been taken care, that the trilemma has to be first taken care and concerned of. So people who are wondering what is mixed reality or the Vision Pro headset I have said. So there is a virtual reality headset which is there in the market. Coming, Facebook previously launched it with the name of Quest. Microsoft launched it with the name of Oculus, and these are all virtual reality headsets. I don't have at one in my home, but I have a headset in my office. But let me give you an idea how a VR headset looks, and how the thing is going to be looked in the future. So let me share it to you. Share the screen. Yeah, this is how the VR headset looks like. I guess my screen is visible to everyone. So this is the VR headset. The virtual reality headset looks like, and let me share a photo of someone wearing it and using it. Okay, and this is the one I'm sharing, which is okay. So I got it. Okay. So I guess you can see in the picture, it's Mark Zuckerberg wearing a Quest 2 headset with the two joystick headset, and is playing or is working in a virtual reality environment. And these are the early 2018's development, which laid the foundation of blockchain going into metaverse. So this whole virtual reality world need blockchain to map things, to customize, to add payments, to add other features within it, the traceability, tracking, and other features of blockchain into it. That's why these virtual reality headsets created a high end debates. See, lastly, but if you have recently heard of, on 6th of June, Apple launched its own headset, and the debate sparked it again. 4th June of 2023, this 6th June, sorry, 6th June of 2023, Apple took a world conference and introduced its own headset. And as you can see on the screen, how it looks like, it's going to change how previously virtual reality was and how Apple is defining the virtual reality. So we accept it or not, Apple is the trendsetter of market. Apple introduced the smartphone. After that, the smartphone market, created globally, and it took all things to a very different storm. So Apple is one of the market leaders and generally leads the technology innovation beforehand. Or if they enter late, they make sure that the innovation is there, which changes the whole dynamics out there. So it's just this VR headset. What what's in we are gonna see. Let me share how it would look. Vision VR. So let me share how demo video it looks. Hmm, okay, I got a image. Mhm. Okay, so this is how it's gonna be. Uh, this is how gonna be look. Apple Vision's VR headset, and this is how it gonna work. So you all will see video call, Alzheimer's, as well as simultaneously parallel working, and this all is done with your mixed reality. Means your own reality and your virtual reality would mix together and come together and form this level of reality, which is a mixed reality. So you are seeing an augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality coming together with the Vision Pro. And this is where the blockchain is very crucial. Your activities, your minute activities, your retinal functioning. So this Vision headset would you don't have to take off it for doing transactions or reservation, etc. It can move with your blink of an eye. So that's what Apple said. It would be doing the transaction with the blink of your eye. It would be reading your retina, etc. And all those things it would be reading up. Apple is going to scan retina and keep those all the data in the blockchain, and all the transactions in the blockchain can be really stored, as well as creating a virtual reality world. All the transactions within the virtual reality world, all the virtual reality spaces would be added with metaverse. So that's what is the real shape, which is going to be there. You would be working in spaces in office, and doing transactions, doing things, and it would be looking like this. The part is blockchain would be there very much inside it, and still you won't see the addition of blockchain being there, but it would exist and it would help you transition through multiple spaces, multiple units. And these are few the high vision, or you could say I have given you an idea of the aspects of virtual realities and blockchain in AR and VR. Surely, Mansiji, I can elaborate more on how blockchain would be in AR and VR. So let me show a metaverse to you. Let me share you the screen. Okay, let me show one metaverse to you as well. So we recently partnered with one of the metaverse project, Converse AI, which make different set of virtual realities, and let me share some enabling 3D creations. Uh, so I guess you are seeing a screen of various virtual reality projects of builders, etc. Let me show you one virtual reality space, how it looks, how a VR looks, and how blockchain is adding addition to it. The screen is getting loaded. I guess it did. It would be all in your VR, etc. I'm just giving you how it looks. I'm trying to pull it up with my system. It's a VR handled project. Okay, so this is how through your virtual VR headset, you will be able to look. So I'm scrolling left or right, I'm scrolling in and out, so that you can see and do. So if you like the table, you want to buy it within here. With a blink of eye, there would be a purchase button added. You just need to click from your blink twice or blink thrice, whatever settings there are, and your blockchain transaction would take place, and your all the transactions, all the spaces you bought would be recorded in blockchain. How many times you visited would be recorded in blockchain, and the transaction of real value will also track in smart contracts, and your funds would also be there in smart contracts. So there are multiple, utilities which would be there with the help of AR and VR, which would be there, and blockchain would be doing multiple transactions. It's not just this single thing. There are multiple. Let me show it to you. Multiple other metaverse projects as well, so you get an idea how it looks. Mm, just a sec. Marketplace. So let me share it. So I guess you guys can see in the screen. There are various different set of metaverse spaces which are on sale, which you can buy and put up and create your own metaverse. Let me jump into an Infinity Studio or a meeting. Infinity Studio looks better, and let's start loading the 3D module. Uh, how it would look in a metaverse, and blockchain would be there. uh, you know so that's how all the reality and the next upcoming 2 to 3 years after, the changes would be very much in the space of mixed reality, virtual reality, uh, or the spatial reality, you could say. So these are the metaverse models I am showing it on the screen. I guess it's visible to all of you. So you want to do activities, you want to do trainings, you want to do, if you are a doctor, you want to do a partial practice of you are a surgeon, you want to do a partial practice of your hospital, you can really do that. uh, Let me figure out, is there some surgery option is there? No. uh, no, let me give in more very, practicing a surgery before really doing a surgery can be really done and checked, you know uh, in a virtual reality, and a doctor can precisely see how they can do, how things are there. So get an idea and prepare the complicated level of surgeries. I guess yesterday someone asked for medical use cases. So if you can see on your screen, uh, yeah, if you can see on your screen,
No, we cannot
yeah,
see
so if
anything
you,
except that there is a good number of.
I guess some technical glitch took place. Apologies for the technical glitch. Uh, Hey, am I audible?
You are audible, but was your. I do not know what you were actually trying to show. So we didn't see anything except
Don't
that.
worry, ma'am. I'll get back again. I'll get back. Uh, so I was sharing
Okay.
the virtual reality in medical fields, and on your
Yeah,
screen.
now it is visible. Yeah.
Yeah. So virtual reality in use case of medical field, where a surgeon is practicing a surgery before having a very complicated surgery. So there are multiple aspects which are there with the help of AR, VR, and mixed reality, comprising blockchain and AI, all weaving together. is the real, ultimate goal where blockchain is heading as a technology part, and this is going to be seriously, game changing, and that's where further world reality is. But coming back to the basics of question, is blockchain capable enough of doing all these yet? So the answer is no. The blockchain is not ready for those level of trends as of now. And where people are talking about that blockchain is going with the, industry 5.0, or where vision, opportunity, future, a lot of other things align, not just, limited to traceability. It would be in smart healthcare, smart cities, manufacturing, supply chain, smart energy, distributed ledgers, microgrids, cloud computing, content distribution is one of the examples which you can try out. Ordis, is there a, let me share a link, or I could say a blockchain enabled uh, Spotify type platform, or I could say music sharing platform, YouTube music or Ghana music type platform, where you can buy and listen to music just using blockchain, and the artist here upload the music, and they revenue sharing is there directly. So artists are independent and they don't have to really go ahead and take the part of it. So I guess Sushil Kumar Azad ji have asked about Industry 5.0. So Audis, let me share the screen for Audis as well. I have opened a page for Audis. So Audis.co, I'm pasting a name as well so you guys can have an idea. Audis.co is based on Solana blockchain and is one of the biggest music, or you could say business to consumer option, where independent musicians, big names are also there, which share their own music, and top trendings are there, where music can be listened on blockchain, can be bought on blockchain, as well as the revenues are directly given to the artist, etc. So there is no middleman, and the real charts are there up, and revenue sharings with music studios are avoided out there. So it is, there are multiple option which is there, multiple places you can check it out. There are big, Hollywood music people who are there, and few Indian musicians are also starting to be getting in part of indie music, or the pop music culture has already started, accepting this, and these number of followers are there, where you can see Z4 and few multiple rappers and musicians are there, which is going ahead with this platform. And it's not just limited to this. There is a supply chain platform, sunrock.com. It's a Netherlands-based company which trades energies on blockchain. So whatever you energy, your solar energy is consumed, or you create a solar energy network, it is sold here in P2P aspects, in P2P ratio. And recently, I was called with uh, Power Grid Corporation of India, I guess that's what it is called, and they asked me for how they can apply this in them, in their solar networks as well. Uh, so there are multiple, industrial use cases which are popping up as we grow, as we, see content distribution. I gave an example. I gave an example of smart energy network, where energy is, auctioned in P2P networks as well. So multiple other things takes place in energy, and in multiple industrial 5.0 sectors. Slowly, uh, infrastructure is getting capable of that. But all this aside, is blockchain capable? The answer is no. There are multiple steps which blockchain has to take first. So I'll be jumping on those things as well. But I see there is one question out there: is blockchain working in the situation you showed before, like purchasing of table with the help of blockchain? Yes. uh, there are things taking place in metaverse, ma'am, where multiple purchases, or you would get shocked to know there are metaverses which are very popular, and lands are getting sold in metaverses. So there is a virtual land getting sold in a virtual digital asset, converted to real money, and then it is getting resale, and multiple resales are taking place, and the value additions are there. It's still very much experimental, but hopefully people are checking it out and trying to understand the vision and putting up their thoughts within it to make it more scalable, which is there. But the trilemma needs to be solved, the earlier blockchain trilemma, which I started off saying my session, that scalability, decentralization, and security. These bases of blockchain needs to be checked at multiple levels, at multiple stages. Uh, you know, uh, Before moving towards the scalability futures of blockchain is going ahead and gearing up to be scalable for those level of problems. But if you guys have any question till now, I would like to answer, if any. So how dealing are these things are done through PC? What is exchanged in this? Tokens, ma'am. Cryptocurrency tokens are exchanged. As simple as that, and you get a virtual digital assets. Next question. Mm, I guess there won't be much questions, but I'm looking for few. If there are not much question, I can really jump to uh, the next stages of scaling blockchain.
You may
Mm,
please go ahead with the
yeah,
blockchain scalability issues.
yeah, I'm going ahead with that, ma'am. I'm just looking for a correct image as well. Okay, so let me share the screen again. How is energy sold through blockchain? It's very simple. Energy is directly, is converted. Tokenization of energy, or you could say the real world assets are tokenized. So tokenization of real world assets takes place over the blockchain. Blockchain can tokenize anything, mostly, and the tokenization of blockchain takes place, and that's how it is, getting sold with set of transactions takes place in form of cryptocurrency. And the best part with blockchain is the transfer of ownership. So once you get, once you sell those energy or some units of energy you have, and you receive your dues, at that moment the ownership is transferred. It doesn't belong to you. It is fully transferred, and all things are done in smart contracts. So your smart contract is set up with an exchange of token versus energy. The algorithms are there that okay, you bought this much energy, then this much is amount to be paid, etc. See, energy power is, so power are stored at multiple ends and multiple inputs. So with your neighbor you can do energy trading. With your if you have a 50 houses within your compound campus, energy trading take place between them. Or energy place trading takes place between some if you are purchasing a large set of energy, it's brought through grids or some other network of transactions takes place. So these are multiple aspects through which it's done, and it comes to the end consumer. All these things are digitized through mobile applications, etc. So that's how the transaction takes place. Coming back towards the scalability part of blockchain. So yes, blockchain has scaled very much from whatever it was in 2008, and then 2013 it evolved eventually and very fastly. But multiple things which are there, which is again stopping the growth of blockchain. that needs to be very much addressed, that we cannot talk about actually blockchain scalability without talking about trilemma. So we talked about trilemma. Meanwhile, we secure the trilemma, but securing trilemma has multiple aspects. Usually, it takes place like one has to sacrifice for other two to stand strong. For an example, in trying to achieve decentralization, you need the whole community to participate. This will delay the consensus and in turns reduce scalability. Meanwhile, decentralization helps secure the network because it will be difficult to manipulate it. So these trilemma needs to be addressed. But before that, in crypto, transaction is the one term that always appears in every conversation. But transaction are simply the data structures that represent the transfer of value that participates in the blockchain. Like example, Shivani sent one Bitcoin to Ramesh, and like we saw earlier, blockchain scalability is focused on completing many transactions in the shortest time, and the transactions are very much the reason why blockchain has to be fast, or the scalability has to be taken care of with multiple validators participating in that. TPS network should be managed, network latency should have been worked off, the finality, whenever you see finality, think of irreversible. So finality is the point where when parties involved in a transaction can consider it completed. Means uh, you're purchasing a house, you go to you know the builder or the someone who's selling up the land or the building. You make a deal, then you go to the registry office, then you pay off the registry, then the transaction takes place. So finality is something similar, where parties involved in a transaction can consider it completed, and that transaction has been added to blockchain, can neither be reverted nor altered. So finality is determined much more on the network latency. Sometimes network latency uh, takes time to broadcast a transaction to all the validators or all the nodes in the network and collect the response to achieve consensus. The lesser the time, the higher scalable is the network. So putting simply, there are different layers that contribute to the efficiency of blockchain. As of now, if you're just working with layer one, not layer zero, remove the layer zero from thought. But layer one, you really need to address all the above to achieve the scalability option. So based on uh, multiple architectures, multiple layers have been created in the blockchain for the efficiency of it. So a blockchain generally, has five or four layers. A hardware infrastructure layer, then a data layer, then a network layer, a consensus layer, and application layer. Yesterday, if you guys remember, I have mentioned multiple times the settlement layer, the consensus layer, the you know that data availability layer, etc. But when it comes to scalability, blockchain has advanced from layer 0 to layer 3. So providing underlying infrastructure to for blockchain, that's layer 0, as you can see on your screen. That's a very precise layer 0 option. Layer 1 option, where the core function of blockchains are carried out. Layer 2 functions, where the third party integrations, or you could say works with third party integration, and removes the limitations of layer 1. And layer 2 works, is one of the higher scaling aspect as of now. If you remember, yesterday I mentioned there are layer 2 options which is very scalable, and somebody asked me about why Polygon being cheap, because it's a layer 2 option which offers speed and scalability. Then layer 3 is the host dapps and provide cross chain scalability. So basically, more layers are introduced to reduce the load of initial layer, that is L1 or L0, and achieve scalability faster. That's why you see things like layer 2 scaling solution of Ethereum blockchain, which is very commonly uh, said at multiple times at multiple places. And that is very much relevant whenever we speak up. And if you understand this pretty well, this is how modular blockchains are defined. So multiple execution taking place in multiple uh, fan it is very curious use case for just give me a sec, guys. Apologies for uh, the glitch between, but yeah, I was speaking about multiple layers which forms the modular blockchain. Modular blockchain generally is a term where all the data activities, data availability, or transactions, consensus, etc., are taken place in other layers. And that's where the curious term of L1, L2, L3 comes in. Well, these are different layers of blockchain, and let me explain multiple layers, how the layers go ahead and play the vital role. So as you can see on the screen, blockchain layered architecture example is which I am showing up how the transaction takes place. So let's start, with the blockchain layered architecture. Simply, it's a set of protocol that describe how blockchain operate. There are 5 layers of blockchain architecture. It starts from bottom to the top. Uh, these things I think you might have heard before, but I am saying it to understand how the the scalability part, which is coming as blockchain roll up, would get introduced. So that's how it is getting it, a very key part. So there are 5 layers of blockchain architecture: infrastructure or a hardware layer, a data layer, or also known as data availability, network layer, which is also the connecting or the application where data is settled. Then there is a consensus layer, and then there is a application as a presentation layer. So all these things, you can see on the screen how and at what level these things takes place. So let's start from the bottom, the hardware or the infrastructure layer. This layer handles the way messaging goes in the blockchain. So as you know already, the blockchain is a peer-to-peer network that allows anyone to access data from multiple nodes that are linked together, nodes or validator, which are there. I'll be coming back to nodes again. Nodes are multiple system which is running the whole blockchain in them, and they are peer-to-peer connected, and they share the same consensus. And if one node is off, the other node can work, and both are making the peer-to-peer network work. But I'll be talking more about nodes later. But adding to the next layer, that is data layer. This is how to do with how blockchain data is organized, or data availability layer is organized, where data is available. So blockchain transactions are arranged in blocks that are linked together and distributed across all nodes. So firstly, each transaction is digitally signed. I'm going very in a very deep manner to make you guys understand. So each transaction is digitally signed with the sender's private key of wallet sent to the network. Secondly, when the node validates the transaction, it is inserted in a block with a cryptographical hash function that secures it. Yesterday also I have mentioned about it, but again, giving a brief idea. Thirdly, the block is then added to the blockchain, linked with the previous block of data. So this method of arranging data makes the blockchain very secure and immutable. So the next part of layer is network layer. This layer ensures that node communicates with each other effectively to maintain the current state of blockchain. And nodes are simply, computers that contains records of blockchain transaction. Uh, they are interconnected with other similar nodes in a decentralized peer-to-peer manner. And nodes are responsible for validating and storing the transaction on the network. And the more number of nodes are there, the more decentralized the blockchain is. The consensus layer, the layer is very important because it ensures that no single node controls the network, and it is a consensus algorithm of blockchain. In terms of permission blockchain, consensus layer varies and play multiple different role according to the blockchain you want. The consensus algorithm generally establish how a transaction on a blockchain is verified. Only verified transactions are recorded generally in blockchain. So each blockchain is uses a unique consensus algorithm, which include POW, POS, etc., which I have mentioned yesterday as well. Now the last and the important layer, that is application and presentation layer. This is the topmost layer, and this layer on which different application on the network runs, including smart contract, Oracle, decentralized application, wallets, etc. So all those things run up here, and this is how layer of blockchain generally goes away, and this is how it functions generally in state. And layer 3, let me again go back to this tab, where layer 3 is a DApp, or you could say a decentralized application themselves. They are built on an uppermost layer of blockchain architecture, and L3 is just an application which is running on L2, L1, and having its own execution layer. So means all the transactions will be done in L3, but it would be settled in L2, and the data will be kept in L1. So those set of consensus and those set of idea is known as apps, roll-ups, blockchain roll-ups, where the data is stored somewhere else. The transactions are pretty fast and minute, and transactions takes place at a very high speed at high levels. And as you can see, it's easing up the process once the rollups are established. So multiple applications generally use multiple bridges, etc., from one L rollup, or you could say one L1 or L2 or layer 1 or layer 2 or layer 3. Between them there are multiple bridges connected there to make the transaction happen of locking, minting, and doing things around. So these things are the future. The the real infrastructural future is the roll up scalability option, where L1, layer 1, and layer 2 would be there, but the introduction of layer 3 is going to change the world. As you must have heard of, there are multiple roll-ups coming up in the space named as Caldera. We ourselves are bringing up roll-ups. Then uh, Eclipse is a roll-up. So there are multiple things which is taking place, and it's going to be scalable, where roll-ups play a very high role in helping it scaling it up. So building applications that can coordinate a large number of users and scale with your needs however you want to, and stay running even and not relying on any other blockchain, to be very specific. That's how it is. So let me share a structure of rollups. This is one of the simple structure of rollups, where L1, L2, and L3 is divided, and you can do execution, settlement, and data availability and consensus on different layers. And these usually takes place and help users to understand. So roll up is a very new concept, and it's a very evolving concept, but again it's a very scalable concept on which uh, people are betting to scale up. And even Polygon switched from Polygon POS to Polygon ZK EVM validation. So I'm not going very deep in the roll up, as it require a huge number of another session for talking about roll ups. But it's the potential future where we are heading up with the aspects of coming uh, roll up is taking the future ahead, and multiple, and you won't believe, it's a very interesting trivia that the scalability of the blockchain is defined with the academicians. It's said within the blockchain community that all the academicians as of now, all the founders who are starting up the roll-ups were previously, somewhere PhD students in some American or European universities, and they were doing the research on blockchain scalability, and they found some way, and it became the largest scaling business out there for them. So as you I'm sharing the the working model of Eclipse, how things are built on Eclipse. uh, you can really see the people behind Eclipse are previously they were working deeply with research, etc., with Stanford and all. So that's how it is, there. The blockchain is going to be the next scaling layer. With the help of Rollup, it would introduce and it would scale to multiple platforms with an ease, and would introduce multiple scalability features for a lot of folks out there. So that's my time. I want to answer your questions. I know it might have a lot of difficulty in understanding how the roll-ups or how the blockchain really functions, and how it would be integrating to vision of AR, VR, because it's a very multiple separate apart poles, but again these are coming together with blockchain, and we are very hopeful. The whole industry is very hopeful that academicians will take a very key role in blockchain space, as as two academicians, or three, four academicians, or four academicians changed the world by starting a company named Google. Four PhD students, two PhD students, and two of their professors. So the blockchain believes in same that academicians has a major role in research and development, and major breakthrough within the blockchain space is also going to come from them, and that's what much more relied on. So open to questions.
Participants have any questions?
Any set of questions through use cases also can be looked at, can be discussed at, not to worry. You can raise hand and ask a question, or you can just drop your question in chat as well. Happy to answer anything. And on a later stage also you can get me. I'll be yesterday also I have shared my LinkedIn. I'll be sharing up my LinkedIn again with you all. So that's not a problem to connect. But however, it totally depends what set of thoughts you all have.
Yeah, Senthilnathan. Okay. Uh,
Okay, thank you. Okay.
so, if there are no questions, could you explain the difference between layer two? What is he writing?
Explain the difference between
Basically, could you explain the difference between layer two roll up and layer three roll up?
uh, so Naresh G must have heard of existing ongoing talks within the blockchain space. That is L2. L2 is coming up. L2 rollups are there. No, actually, it's they are talking about they're creating a narrative that it's a L2, but it is actually an L3, which is going to be there. It's an L3. It's a fundamentally it's an L3. You can call it whatever you want, but it's a fundamentally the whole product which Polygon ZK or BNB L2, the Binance network chain, which is creating a L2. It's all L3 rollups. There is no L2 rollups available in the market, or you cannot fundamentally do that. So it's all the talk of town, but in reality, it's the L3 which is going there. I have recently seen data hiding using blockchain. How is it beneficial in future aspect? Data hiding using blockchain. I didn't get you, Sushil Kumarji. I didn't get you. Uh,
I would like to tell that data hiding, as you know, that multiple shares can be done. So data hiding that way by using a threshold-based cryptography, data hiding is done. So, uh, and for layer two, my dear friends, the basic idea is that how off the chain we can create another layer for it can be micropayment or it can be any other transaction business that is not all the people in the network are concerned with. So if you see the go to the Eclipse dot builders site, you will be getting the details from where perhaps he has taken the uh, not perhaps, in fact, certainly he has taken this slide. So basically, I request you to please go through this. This is I mean, I have shared with you. So mm
this is
this
L3.
hides, yeah, this,
Let me share the exact page where you can figure out where this structure
that
is.
is, yeah, that is, yeah. So,
Certainly, so
mm,
whatever images I have used are from live data and it's from live pages, websites, etc. Where I have generally used the metaverse you saw is from Converse AI. They are an Indian company
mm,
based in Gurgaon itself, which create wonderful metaverse. Then there is Spatial, I guess. Let me share it that name as well for you all. Spatial is also there, which is also a good a good this virtual reality company out there named with Spatial. So you can go ahead with that as well. You can even create your own metaverse very quickly and easily. So things have now very eased in blockchain as previously it wasn't. But multiple tools and middleware coming in and putting up multiple use cases. I'm just looking at the questions if there are any more questions. Sir, Starknet
well,
claims to
you
be.
can, yeah.
Oh my God, Starknet is doing a ZK snark. So it's on another level. And believe me, when Starknet claims something, market feels that Starknet has really done something. Starknet maxis are very different set of people, and Starknet is really working on quantum proof rollups. They are ahead in a rollup space. When no one was talking or thinking about rollup, Starknet launched ZK Snark back in 2021 in London. I remember 21 or yeah 21 in London, and they did a very high presentation on how Starknet is going to change the ZK space. So they are one of the early movers, but with a sorrow that they are not able to capitalize much more. It feels bad. Uh, Starknet is one of the great players, and believe me, if you want to do some R&D, you can really go and work with Starknet. Use cases and white papers. They are really well written off. Blockchain holding reversible data hiding for securing medical images. Yes, you can do that. Ma'am already mentioned about data hiding. Uh, so, what is the state of integration of cloud technologies for the scalability and availability? AWS is already launched, node hosting. Google. I was in an event with Google Cloud, etc., with Google Cloud folks, and Google is working on introducing nodes. Let me share it to you. This is a very confidential thing, but let me share it with you. Google node feature. Discord is there. Let me share it with you. Let me show. Program announcement fully managed. Okay, copy link. Hmm. I have pasted the link. It's Converse AI, which is there. So you know, uh, it is there. Let me node. Uh, Yeah, let me share this tab. So Google clouds have started already offering, node engines. So as you can see, I haven't created a node engine yet in front of your screen. So this is a Google Cloud Console, and here you can create your own node engine with, as smooth as that. So let me, I'll not create, I'll just make sure that how it looks. You can select your blockchain configuration, mainnet, testnet, which set of testnet, Gorilla or Sepolia, node type, archive or full node, execution, Ergon or Geth. So Geth, etc., are a few execution things which would be there. If you get deep into it, admin and debug, what set of controls you want, what set of location you want to. There are only 3 locations as of now which would offer, creating a node out there. So Google is offering creating a node, Amazon is there, uh, Azure is coming with their own node offering structure. So it's all out there, those are coming up. uh, what is the status of integration of cloud technologies? I have answered that. Blockchain universal. Sushil Kumarji, I guess you were yesterday also asking about the medical images. Connect me separately. I'll help you in getting an idea formed up so you can create and do things later on. What? Any other questions? I don't think
What's
so.
the question on medical images?
Uh, So the question he has asked, where it is, blockchain-based reversal data hiding for securing medical images. Yesterday also Sushilji asked how he can keep medical images, high graphically colored medical images on blockchain or on L3, uh, which he is looking at multiple answers. Uh,
So reversible data hiding techniques you can use right now. These are centralized techniques. The only thing is that you have to do the decentralization. Reversible data hiding, for participants who are not aware, it's a technique where you hide data in a medium, and when you take out the data from medium, the medium as well as the data should be perfectly reconstructible. And in case of medical imaging, sometimes information is also hidden within
so
within the image. So uh, I think all that you have to look at is find out how we can decentralize this entire process, because
so
this is a centralized process.
this is done by, ma'am, decentralization of this process is done by ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. They did a pilot with a imagery of multiple, geolocations with satellites. They are doing for geolocation, GSAT satellites are in place, and they tried, a pilot was done, and they did it successfully. The scalability and what are the existing know-how of projects, as it's a national security detail, so it's not very much in public domain, but they have tried and they have tested the decentralization on app specific chains and
Yeah,
roll out.
that we there are you will find many, even the research papers are there for, and as we discussed before, that threshold based cryptography, visual cryptography methods are can be used. Standard threshold based visual cryptography methods are there, which you
Hmm.
can use, and then you can hide the data.
Okay. So thank you everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Ankur Sinha, and thanks all the participants for your important interactive and for your interaction with the expert. And with this, we conclude this session.